The Irish government has announced that it will hold a second referendum on the European Union's Lisbon Treaty in early October. Ireland voted no to the treaty last summer. The Irish government has now secured legal guarantees that the new treaty would not affect the country's neutrality and its position on abortion. An operation to insert a pin into Lady Thatcher's broken arm has been a success, according to her son Mark. He said he was relieved that the operation had gone so well. The former Prime Minister is expected to remain in hospital until the middle of next week.
It's a week now since Lady Thatcher came to hospital, and she was said to be in good spirits as she prepared for her operation.
As soon as I know what's happening, I'll come out and say something else.
Mark Thatcher was close by throughout and said she was impatient for it to be over.
This is the alternative method of fixing a fracture. Here's a fracture.
Thousands of people a year have similar operations to put pins in fractures, including many elderly patients with brittle bones.
If you fix the bone, then you can begin moving the shoulder at an earlier stage. And people who have their fractures treated conservatively, and indeed when they have operations as well, it's a big part of the treatment is the rehabilitation afterwards, getting the shoulder mobilised again.
There are several different ways of pinning a fracture. One is to put a large pin through the shoulder and down the middle of the bone, holding the break in place. After a few weeks, the fracture heals and the pin stays inside the patient's body. The pins used for fractures are pretty robust. This is one surgeons might put in a leg fracture. And when the operation's successful, it can be very effective. It stabilises the fracture quickly and the patient starts feeling better pretty fast. But an operation like this does carry risks for somebody who's elderly. The general anaesthetic on its own puts the system under an enormous strain.
Surgery in this age group is no quick fix. These patients often have quite a large burden of medical problems. They may have had previous strokes, heart attacks, and they may have arterial disease, so they've got significant risks of complications.
The first indications from Lady Thatcher's operation are good, though, and she's been told she may be able to go home in a few days' time.
The procedure has been completed, and the surgeon who I've just spoken to said it was a complete success. So obviously we're all very happy.
Lady Thatcher's going through something that affects thousands of elderly people every year who have falls. She'll now begin the slow process of physiotherapy to help restore movement to her injured arm. Jane Hughes, BBC News.
The English Premier League has just announced that it's terminated its television licence agreement